Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Rob, aka Munch. It's like a first time trying to do this. Never done the streams, the lives like this before. Did some short videos here and there, which I greatly appreciate everybody subscribing, being my subs, whatever you want to call it, viewing them, commenting. Um, I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody. I try to get along with everybody until they really somewhat, piss me off. Um, I think life is too short to deal with bullshit from a lot of these different YouTubers. And I'm sure you gotta. I'm sure I'm going to learn on through the process here of who to trust, who not to trust, um, who I can talk to, who I can't talk to. But there's some people out there that I've met through the YouTube channels, and I've met some very, very good people. Um, I won't mention no names. One name I will mention, and I'm sure she's not going to mind me saying this, but I met a very, very lovely woman and her husband. Her name is Mama Bear. She's that bitch Mama Bear. And her man's name is Cattle King. I talk to them on a daily basis. Um, we have some good laughs. She could tell you some stories. Um, I've done lives before, just not my own. Of course, it was with Mr. Andrew Helps before he became the Panda Crew or whatever the hell he calls that crew per se. Um, and a lot of those times, I was a lot of the lives that I did with Andrew at night. I'll be honest with you, I was three sheets to the wind. So if you bring up a live that I did at night with him, I probably don't remember. I'm sorry. If I disrespected you in any way, shape, or form, I'm very, very sorry. I know I got involved with him with some lives there during the day when it came to certain things to that involved his son and some other things that were going on, and the Tennessee trip and stuff like that. But I don't want to get into that tonight, being that this is my first live. Let me get used to all this stuff, and then we can get into the nitty gritty stuff. But going back to Andrew, it's like he sits there and he degrades people. He calls them out. Um, I mean, once he finds out and once he learns that they're not close by to him, like they're not living in New York State, they're out of many different states. He likes to talk shit. Andrew, and I'm sure many of you already know this, talks a lot of shit. He talks so much shit that he can't back his shit up. There's not enough toilet paper to wipe up his shit because that's how much shit he talks. And it's sad to say because I feel sorry for him. He is just a very, very he's a disgrace to the human race. He should not be allowed to even breathe the same oxygen, the same air that I breathe. He's very disrespectful. He's disrespectful to whoever he thinks crosses his line. Well, needless to say, I can cross his line all day. I've proven it. I've left my house, went down the street because he lives 4 blocks from me. I sat on his front porch, just sat there, didn't speak a word to him. And he wouldn't come out of his house. I've called him out multiple times. He doesn't want to come out and play with me. He doesn't. Because he knows it's gonna hurt him more than it's gonna hurt me. And I've already been advised by multiple different people that I just have to do what I have to do. You know, I don't threaten people. There's no need for it. Why am I going to threaten somebody? I look at it like this. One day you and I will run into each other, my friend. And I can't even call you my friend because you never were my friend right from the beginning. Because, Andrew, the first night you and I drank together, I had to grab you by your throat and pick you up and drop you on the floor. And that same night, a knife fell out of your pocket and you went to grab it. And I picked you back up and stuffed you back up in the corner of your dining room. You know, another incident is you were yelling and screaming at 5:30 in the morning. What I do? I go in your bedroom, smack the shit out of you right there in front of your wife. Then you covered up your head with the blankets. And I grabbed the blankets by your feet and dragged you off the bed. You know, so let's talk, Andrew. You know, you want to sit there and you want people to fight your battles for you. You see it. It's me. I don't need anybody to do anything for me. I can take care of it all myself. And you can have your panda crew troll me all you want. Because me personally, I don't care. You wanted, you must have, this is the way I think you're thinking. I believe you're thinking that if I keep on doing this, he ain't never going to do nothing. He's never going to do nothing. Well, guess what? You pushed me to that point to where now I got to do it like this. So now it's time for me to embarrass you. I never wanted it to come down like that. You sit there and you tell people, and you've said it on your lives to where that I'm upset, I'm jealous that she picked the better man. Where's the better man? Because I can work. I can make money. Speaking about money, 95% of the time, anytime that you've ever drank when you lived over on South Judson Street, who bought the beer? Who bought that alcohol? I did. You might have bought maybe the whole time, maybe a total of 24 beers, if that. So, and you want to sit there and you want to tell people the other night that you haven't done coke in a long time. What's it been? 2 years? Because the last time you did coke, and I'm speaking of myself, lived over on South Judson Street. So don't sit there and tell everybody that you've been clean for years. Because that's a crock of bullshit. You don't know how to live like a human being. Your house is a mess. Listen, your house on 97 South Judson Street was a pig pen. Yes, I understand that the girls, their rooms, those are their rooms. But still, there has to be some stability in those children's lives and to be taught how to do things. So them seeing you taking care of your own house the way you did, they think it's okay for themselves to have their rooms the same way. Litter boxes would be overpiling with shit to where the cats couldn't even shit or piss in it no more. That's why they started shitting and pissing on your clothes, in the laundry baskets, in the tub, in the bathroom sink. And God only knows what was going on in your room because there would be cats in there too. Shit behind your computer desk, all caked on the lead cords and the power strips and stuff like that. You know, and then your friend Casey Lips wants to put a video up of me smacking Thor. Yeah, I smacked Thor. I admit that. Why? Because he was going underneath your desk to eat the cat shit that was never picked up from 2-3 days prior to that. So see, this is the person that you're bringing out of me, Andrew. So I hope you're very happy. Because me personally, I don't care because I don't live that way. Never have, never will. I got 6 dogs and 9 cats. Walk in my house. It's clean. It's not full of cat shit. My litter boxes are cleaned every day. My dogs are well taken care of. My dogs probably eat better than most kids in Johnstown and Gloversville. Because you want to know why? Because my girlfriend and I work. We make money. We buy things. Another thing, don't sit there and tell people that you don't get food stamps, because you do. You guys just spent $683 and had shit tons of garbage delivered to your fucking house. 4 cases of Mountain Dew, 2 or 3 cases of Pepsi, Crush, Dr. Pepper. You guys get jarred sauce. You can't even make a true spaghetti sauce. I cook every night. Every night. Fresh food. It's not hard to go to the market and get stuff to make a fresh meal for your kids. I even make food for my dogs. They get real food. They get dog food, but they get real food. I make their food. You know, and the thing is people better leave Tammy out of this bullshit because it has nothing to do with Tammy. I'm getting sick and tired of people talking shit about Tammy. Tammy didn't do nothing wrong. What? You're pissed off at me. You and your wife are pissed off at me because I, 53-year-old man, talks to somebody that you don't get along with no more. What? Because she found out that you're a fucking a scam artist? That there's no truth to what you say? Is that the problem? You know, the only thing I'm sorry for is that your wife and I can't still be friends. But she made this decision. She's the one that made this choice. She's allowed you to let her make that choice. And it's a shame. Because I was more involved in your daughter Kay's life, than you ever have. And that's pretty sad. So just let your trolls know that I hope they are watching this and they're listening to this. Because I can give 2 fucks about your trolls. Your little Casey Lips over there in Michigan. Your little Dippy Doodah down in Carolina. I can bring her up in it too. Her and her sniffling all the time. What does she got? Allergies? Come on. When I first met her, she was a pill popper. It's like you think I forget about things. And I don't. I just choose to put them in the back of my mind because there's no need for me to talk about them. But see, this is what I said to you before. This is what happens when you push me to that point. And it's sad because you know the type of person I can be. You've seen it firsthand. You've witnessed it firsthand. And your wife of all people know how I am. I'm only going to have my buttons pushed so many times before I say, you know what? Hello, let's explode. Guess what? Newsflash, fuckers. Munch don't drink no more. Munch hasn't drank in a while. So every time you think that I'm drunk or I've been drinking or I'm under the influence, guess what? Wrong. I have documentation. I can go right to my doctor. I can go right to my counselor. I take a piss test every week. I'll tell you just like I told my counselor and I told the doctor, I'll piss test them every time I walk in the medical building door. Test me for whatever you want. You're not going to find nothing. I'm going to become like you, Andrew. I'm going to start drinking Mountain Dew. I'm going to start having Mountain Dew and pineapple juice in my lives with me. You think you're better than everybody. I don't think I'm better than anybody. I'm just a normal person. Live my life day to day. The problem is you can't do that. You like that. You love that drama in your life. You know, so if you guys want to dig up anything on me, have fun. You want to ask questions? Ask away. I have nothing to hide. You know, then you got your little roo-rah or hoo-ha or whatever the fuck her name is down in Jersey. The bikey bitch is what she calls herself. The bikey bitch. You know what a bikey bitch is? A bikey bitch is a female that's tossed around a bar to be used. That's what a bikey bitch is. So if you want to affiliate with people like that, have at it. I don't need that shit in my life. I have a good woman. Yes, I might have treated her like shit and I might have done her wrong. But you want to know something? Guess what? We're still together. We still have our same apartment. We're not getting evicted. We pay our bills. You know, and the thing is we have internet. How are you? Neither of you are working. How are you paying your bills? How are you paying your internet? Are you scamming people on YouTube again for them to pay your internet bill like you've done in the past? It's pretty sad. It's pretty sad. When you got to beg people to give you money to pay your internet bill. My father asks me all the time if I need money. You know what I tell my father? No. My father took care of me for 18 years of my life. Guess what? I helped my mother and father out. I'll give my mother and father money. I'll go down there and help them do things in their house. What have you done? What have you accomplished in life except become a scam artist? And speaking of scam artists, you and your son, you degraded him in the beginning, but then you're going to stick up for him now. Why? What are you hiding? I mean, me personally, I don't care what you're hiding, but eventually it's going to come out. You know, you're a very, very fucked up individual in your head, to be honest with you. Because you have to understand something, Andrew. The thing is you have kids at home. You have a wife at home. Excuse me. You're going to tick off the wrong person or the wrong people. You're going to cross somebody the wrong way, and it's just going to explode in your face. People are going to get hurt that don't deserve to be hurt. You know, Tammy has said stuff to you down at Stewart's multiple times. You have no idea. It's like you don't say shit to her, but you're supposed to be this big man. Now, if that was me, you would have ran. You would have ran up the street. You would have tucked your tail between your ass cheeks and ran up the street. Because that's how much of a pussy you are. You know, let's go back. Let's go back to that one weekend we were drinking at the house on 97 South Judson. When I had an issue with that guy on the motorcycle, but we took care of that, the guy and I. But no, that wasn't good enough for you, Andrew. You went and you tipped over that motherfucker's motorcycle. And then 3 people, 4 people came back, and poor Terry downstairs, because you ran, you hid in a graveyard, in a cemetery, and you tried to use somebody for an alibi. Poor Terry got knocked out and sent to the hospital because of your stupidity. Because you were this big, bad guy. An innocent person got hurt. What if that was one of the kids? What if that was your wife? What if that was your mother? What if that was your brother or your sister? How would you have felt? You wouldn't have felt anything because you don't give a shit about anybody but Andrew. You just don't realize, you don't realize, buddy, it's going to backfire in your face, and it already has, because you pushed me to this point. You know, I always told you, you ever want to come out and play with me, come out and play with me. But the problem with you is you don't have the balls, because you're going to get hurt. That's what was going to happen. I smacked you up many times. I smacked you up in the living room. You fell on your back with a TV on top of you. You looked like a turtle on its shell with its legs hanging in the air, flipping up and down, flopping all around on the floor. Every time that I put my hands on you, Andrew, you've called the cops on me. That's what you are. You're a cop caller, because you can't handle the heat. So if your ass can't handle the heat, get your ass out the kitchen. Don't ever call yourself a man. In my book, you're a bitch. That's what you are. Just like I said before, your wife has more balls than you. And that's pretty sad. Like I said, this is my first time ever doing a live. I'll get used to it. I'll figure out all the little nooks and crannies and all the little shortcuts and how to do this and how to do that. But just needless to say, you ever hear that saying, I'm going to be that little pin in your side? Well, guess what? I'm going to be that little pin in your side. Because every time I hear one of your little trolls call me a mooch, I'm just going to do a live about you. I got plenty of shit on you. Plenty. We can talk about how you treat the girls, how I've witnessed it, what you've asked them to do, the whole 9 yards. Made them do, grounded them for no reason. You call yourself a father? You ain't no father. I've made my mistakes. I've made my mistakes as a father. I ain't ashamed to admit it. But at least I've raised most of my kids. You haven't really raised any of yours. So what kind of father figure do they have? What did you teach your kids as a parent? You can't sit down and do homework with your kids because you can't read, you can't add. Half the time when you speak on YouTube and do your lives, you use these words that you probably have a dictionary next to you. That way you can look up the abbreviation for them, because you don't know what they mean. You're using them the correct way, but you don't know what they mean. I have a high school diploma. What do you got? 8th grade? 9th grade? So just remember, Andrew, I mean, it's not about me being an asshole. You just brought the asshole out in me. I never wanted to do this. Never. But you pushed me to that point because I'm tired of you and your trolls saying stupid shit. Like, call me a mooch. I'm a mooch, but I'm the one that bought all the alcohol. I'm the mooch, but I'm also the one that gave Phil, the landlord's maintenance man, how many hundreds of dollars to get you guys caught up on rent over there on that 97 South Judson. I'm a mooch, but I used to give your wife a ride back and forth to work when you couldn't even get up in the morning in the middle of winter and shovel off the stairs and the walkway for your wife to be able to get into the truck for me to take her to work when she slipped off the stairs and fell on the sidewalk when you notice she has a bad back. So what kind of man are you? You're no kind of man. You're a poor excuse. Mama should have swallowed. And I'll learn all the ins and outs about this, about what I can say and what I can't say. I know you can't say the R word. I've heard that multiple times. But I can call you an asshole. That's not it, that's not part of the, I can't say it. If you were any kind of man, Andrew, if you had a problem with me, you would have came to me. It's like the night that your wife spent the night here. Yeah, your wife spent the night here. I had to go down to the local bar and get her too, because you kept on blowing up my phone. You came here the next morning with Bella to pick her up. She slept in my bed. I slept in my reclining chair. So I just love the bullshit that everybody says now, I slept with your wife. How Stephanie's going to sit there and say to Tammy, oh, how does it feel knowing that Munch had my sister bent over your bed? Whatever. Really? Come on. What kind of people play that bullshit? You all got bent out of shape as soon as I started talking to Mama Bear. 3 days after I started talking to Mama Bear, that's when I get this bullshit. It took me a while to come out, huh? But see, there's that saying, you keep on poking that bear, that bear's going to come out and bite you. Well, guess what? You woke the bear up. You must have wanted it because you just kept on poking. You and your little trolls. So, it's if this is a game you want to play, come on. We can play the game. Doesn't bother me. I ain't got nothing but time. And then you do your lives, and you listen to other people's lives, and that's how you base your lives off of. You play their lives in your background and you feed off it. Because that's how you make money, because you can't make money on your own. It's like that John R. Kramer. Not a bad guy. I've watched a lot. I've watched quite a bit of his stuff. It's pretty good. But then you want to call him out. Why? You want to call him out because my man lives in Chicago, Illinois. He doesn't live down the block from you. He doesn't live in the next town over. This is why you talk shit to people that don't live in the same town as you. Because if they did, and if they came to you, you would be the first one to sit there and dial 911. Just like that night when I showed up at your house. I didn't even say a word to you. All I did was sit on your porch. I get up. I leave. I get back to my house, I sit on my porch, and all of a sudden I got 2 Johnstown cops showing up in the front of my house. So who's the cop caller? Seriously. If you can't handle it, don't fucking speak it. Keep my name out of your mouth. Tell your trolls to keep my name out of their mouth. Nippy and I never had a problem with each other until all this bullshit. Casey, I don't know her, and I can give 2 shits to know her. Ro, I don't know her. But you're gonna, you woke the bear up. I put it to you that way, my friend. You woke the bear up. So now it's game time. I can play with you all day, all night. I can make it to where you can look over your shoulder when you leave your house. This is what you wanted. You wanted to keep on poking me. And it sucks to be you. Like I said, I'm not threatening you. I don't threaten nobody. But this is what you wanted. You have no idea what you're getting yourself into. You know, and that was all across. I think that was all. You know, and let's talk about when I did first start talking to Mama Bear, because boy, it was like Stephanie was right on there, claiming to be Bella's mother and all that bullshit, and she did it just to cause trouble between her and the family and blah 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 blah. I find that to be a crock of bullshit. Honestly, I find that to be a setup. I believe you guys set that all up to see what kind of information Stephanie can get from Mama Bear. And that's wrong. But that's what happens. Your whole stories, you know, you do a live, 1 minute you say something in the beginning, and then 20 minutes later, half hour later, you contradict yourself. You've always done that. It's kind of like the one live when you're sitting there telling people how your landlord wanted Elisa to pay the rent on his personal account. Then come to find out, Elisa comes out of the bedroom and says, no, that's not true. So if you can lie about something like that, what else have you lied about? What else are you hiding? You know what? We're going to get into it now, because now you got me in a mood. Let's go to the Summer Wells. Why did your wife get into it down there in the Dollar General or Family Dollar parking lot? Why'd she flip her lid? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about some serious shit, Andrew. What are you hiding? Understand something. If somebody wants to find your son, or somebody wants to talk to your son, Hunter, they will. He's of age. You have no say. You have no legal right to your son. Technically, you have no legal right to any of your fucking kids. Awesome father. My name is on every one of my children's birth certificates except my middle daughter's. But my oldest daughter, my youngest daughter, and my son, I am on their birth certificate. I am listed as their father. I pay child support for all the kids except Robert, because I was married to his mother for 22 years, 23 years. Raised a kid for 18 years, 19 years. See how much money it costs you, Andrew. You know, maybe because maybe the reason why you're not a father today is because you were never shown that fatherly love. I'm thankful. I have my father. I still have my father. As a matter of fact, my father just turned 73. And I'm going to fair warn everybody right now. My family better stay the fuck out of their mouths. because they start running their mouths about my family, shit's going to hit the fan. And you better fair warn your fucking trolls right now. Because I hope your trolls are watching this. I hope they're hearing every word I say. And I hope you do too. Because your wife, of all people, knows how I am when it comes to my mother and father and my siblings. So maybe that's the reason why you are the way you are. Because you didn't have that good upbringing. You didn't have a good family life. And for that, hey, buddy, I'm sorry. Maybe they made you go down that wrong road. Well, like I said, you poked the bear. Now the bear's got to come out of its cave. And it sucks. Not for me. It's like exactly, the thing is what happened in Tennessee is I really don't know. I only heard bits and pieces. I heard, you guys drove down there. Supposedly the house fell through. You went to the storage unit. And then a little bit later, I hear about Elisa flipping her wig or going nuts about it in a parking lot. What was that all about? Were you guys supposed to stay at Candace's house? Was she jealous that you and Candace were gonna? Hmm? Or you and Allison were gonna get back together, and maybe you, Allison, and Hunter could be a big happy family? I feel sorry for Al. God rest her soul. Honestly, God rest her soul. I would have felt sorry for that woman if you moved down there. And I never even got to meet her. Your son? You know how I feel about your son already. He's a disrespectful little prick, is what he is. He has no respect for nobody, just like you. So if you raised your son like that, or if you're proud of your son being like that, I'm proud of you too, buddy. But one thing I can say about my son is my son works 60 to 80 hours a week. He has a newborn baby. Well, not newborn. She'll be 2 years old in end of January, as a matter of fact. Beautiful little girl. My boy owns his own home. What do you got? An eviction notice. And then you want to come out with some bullshit with some black mold. Landlord's just not going to evict you for no reason. Landlord's going to evict you for non-payment of rent. Especially that landlord. Because like I said before, I've seen multiple apartments of his. He's not a bad landlord. And I'm glad. I'm glad I'm not drinking no more, because I don't think I could possibly do a live under the influence. So I'm very proud of myself for not drinking. I just feel sorry for people like you, because you have no life. You hide behind your computer screen, or in front of your computer screen, I should say. Let me rephrase myself, because I don't want you to think that I'm saying that you're hiding behind your computer. But in front of your screen, in front of your camera, You don't come out of your house. You come out of your house late at night. Are you afraid to come out walking in a daylight? Are you afraid you're going to run into somebody that you pissed off? Did you rub somebody the wrong way? Are you in fear of your life? What is it? Because I remember there was a block party here in Johnstown, and you come down around the corner and you see a certain somebody, and you turn right around and went back home. Well, you're supposed to be this big bad man. Yeah, you might have beat that guy up that was 2 times bigger than you or 3 times bigger than you, but you admitted you hit him in the back of the head with a log. Wow, look at that! You needed a weapon. People like you need weapons because you guys can't fight with your fists. And then you're gonna sit there and say, well, I'm not gonna physically, I'm gonna mentally hurt them. You can't mentally hurt me. You can't mentally hurt me more than I mentally hurt myself. Get that through your head. You are a nobody to me. And honestly, I am better than you. My life is actually pretty good. I have a home, have a vehicle, we have jobs. I take care of my animals. My kids are grown. I can sit down with my grandchildren and help them do their homework if I ever had to. Just like multiple times I sat down with those 2 girls and did homework with them because your wife was working and you were very incapable of even showing them how to do their homework. You would yell and scream at them and tell them, well, you learn this in school. Well, no, kids need help once in a while, Andrew. Get that straight. If you can't be a father to your own kids, what makes you think you can be a grandfather? Maybe one day you'll wake up and smell the coffee. I doubt it, but anything's possible. I mean, we can all wish for a miracle. Maybe a shooting star will fall out of the sky and smack you in the head and knock some sense into you. You never know. Oh, but that's right. You got to come out of your house for that to happen. Like I said, I'm not, listen, and I'll repeat it on every damn live I do. I'm not into this to make money. If I do, I do. I don't care if I do. I don't care if I don't. Doesn't bother me. I'm doing this for me. I'm doing this to let people know that I'm not the one to mess with. I'm not the one to sit there and talk shit about. Your little trolls, I didn't do nothing to them. They only hear your side of the story. They don't hear both sides of the story. But if these people that you deal with, your little panda crew, only knew the truth about you, they probably wouldn't be on your lives. I have nothing against Dippy. I have nothing against Casey. I have nothing against Roe. The one I have an issue with is you. Because you just love the drama. Why? Why do you like the drama so much? Do you get a Woody from all the drama? Do you get your rocks off mocking other people's lives? Does PG hit a nerve when she talks about when she does her lives? Did John R. Kramer? Did he hit a nerve? These are people's opinions, Andrew. You sit there and say that you can put your, you know what? Opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one. Don't judge somebody because they have an opinion of something. Just like I gave Mama Bear my opinion. And all of a sudden, boom, you guys have an issue with Munch. Why? Is there any truth to that opinion, Andrew? Is that something that you're hiding? Stop being a bitch. Stop hiding in front of your screen, in front of your camera. Be a man. Come out. I still talk to, you think I'm going to stop talking to Mama Bear? What'd she do to me? She didn't do nothing to me. Yeah, I didn't talk to her for how long? Well, when I moved out of 97 South Judson, when Tammy and I moved here, I didn't talk to Mama Bear for a while. I seen her online the one day. I just figured I'd reach out. Hey, how you doing? Her and I haven't stopped talking since. You think I'm going to let you ruin our communication? Absolutely not. Why would I? She didn't do nothing to me. Are you upset because she found out that? Did she dig in a little deeper to find out more bullshit about you? That's pretty sad, huh? Just like all your little trolls. Eventually they'll find out about you. But just let them know that if they have any questions for me, they can ask me. Don't judge a book by its cover. I'll be honest with them. And then Ro wants to bring up to Tammy how I put my hands on Tammy. Absolutely. Yes, I did. I'm not gonna lie about it. Was I under the influence? Yes, I was. I was under a lot of influence. I was under a lot of alcohol. Does it give me the right to put my hands on her? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No female should ever have their hands have hands put on them by a male. Just like that incident with my daughter. They can bring that up all they want to. Did I put my hands on my daughter? Absolutely. Was she trying to bring drugs into my house? Absolutely. Did I tell her no? Absolutely. Did she step to her father? Absolutely. Did I put my hands on her? Yes, I did. Did I go to jail for it? Yes, I did. I'm not afraid to admit when I'm wrong. But you are. You think it's okay to go on there and disrespect people and talk shit about these people. You got to turn it on. Into my house? Absolutely. Did I have nothing to hide? Nothing. Anybody can ask me anything. If I know the answer, I'll give it to you. If I don't know, I don't know. I can give you my opinion or I can give you facts. That's what it comes down to. I can bullshit just like the rest of them. But why? For the truth to come out in the end? To make me look like the asshole? No. I'd rather get the bullshit out of the way right from the get-go. There's no need for me to, because you don't talk to certain people, doesn't mean that I don't have to stop talking to them. Doesn't mean that I have to stop talking to them. That's my choice. I'm a man. I'm full grown. 53. I can speak to who I want to speak to. Mama Bear's never disrespected me. I've never disrespected Mama Bear. Mama Bear can ask me any question she wants, and I'm dead honest with her. You know, and speaking about the mama bear, there was a live there, I believe, with your one of your little trolls, Casey, about you doing a live the one night, and you and I were pretty shit faced that night, if I remember correctly, because Elisa was sleeping, and supposedly it was Mama Bear's daughter stripping on a live. No, that was that chick from Vegas, because another person that we all used to chit chat with, she could verify it because she was on that live that night. So tell your little trolls to get their story straight. Because the very first time and only time that I've ever talked to Mama Bear's daughter was when it was myself, her daughter, Jessie the ghost, and Casey, because she was going to Walmart or Home Depot or wherever, probably to pick up her fucking extra large tampons. We were all on a video chat. That was the very first time I ever talked to her daughter. Very first time I ever seen her daughter. So just make sure your trolls get their story straight before they run their mouth about me. So when Mama Bear came and asked me about it, what do you think I told her? Of course I told her the truth. I've never, absolutely not. And I believe, if I remember correctly, I believe that girl's name was Amy from Vegas. Because I remember Elisa getting up yelling at you and telling you, I thought you blocked her. You're not supposed to be talking to her no more. So I wonder if Elisa really knows everything that you do on the computer. Just like Elisa told you in the beginning that she did not want those girls involved in anything with the lives. Now all of a sudden it's okay. Why is that? And speaking of the girls, yeah, you know what? I might have drew the heart with a pen on one girl, maybe both, but I'm not the one that tattooed them, and that's illegal. Just to let you know, because not even Stephanie's New York State licensed. So, needless to say, I have a lot of shit. And I think it's about time that you get exposed. That way people can see you for the person you truly are. I don't care what people say about me. I truly, truly don't. They can talk to all the shit they want about me. Don't ever say anything about my family and leave Tammy out of it. This is between you and me. Nobody else. So when you're ready to play, just let me know. You can walk up 2 blocks. I can walk down 2 blocks. We can meet in an isolated area. We can meet at Stewart's. I'll even be a nice guy and I'll even buy you a cup of coffee. Talk like men. But see, you can't do that. You got to get in front of that computer screen, in front of that camera. That's how you talk. You know, I'll mock you all day. What's that? What I do earlier? Um, Pandas are animals. They have feelings too. What's wrong with the color pink? I eat it and I rock it. Come on. Why would you even say something like that? You're pathetic. You have no business even being on YouTube. You're a disgrace to the YouTubers out there that are actually doing this for the right reasons and for a good cause. And some of the YouTubers that I talk with and that I might go on a live here and a live there with, they're caring people. You know, it's like PG. She's a caring woman. She's out for justice for that little girl. And you want to mock her. You want to mock people because they say your son's name. You know, you want them to drop a link, but you don't drop a link. Why don't you drop a link? Let all of us get on your channel. No, you can't do that. Why? Because the shit'll come out. You don't want to be exposed. You like this attention. You like the drama. You like your little trolls doing your little petty work. What are they? Misinvestigators now? It's like, holy shit, come on. Andrew, you know me good. You know me well enough to where I don't need to have people, just normal to everyday people, do my investigation work. You know what type of family I have. All I got to do is just give them a name. I can find out a lot of information. So, like I said, they can talk all the shit they want about me. Just keep my family's name out of it and Tammy's name out of it. Because I believe I can speak for the other YouTubers. We can all stick up for ourselves. We're big people. I don't need to hide behind a camera or in front of a camera or in front of a screen. I walk the streets, I ride a bike, we drive the truck. I'm out and about all the time. I go to my meetings. Like I said, I quit drinking. I don't need to drink. Coffee, 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 water, and every once in a while a soda. I don't need alcohol in my life. Took me a long time to realize that. It took me a long time to realize who true friends are. You're not a true friend. You're a backstabber. Because as soon as something doesn't go your way, that person's a piece of shit. It's not the way it works. I fucked my life up myself. But I still have friends. True friends. True friends that all I got to do is pick up the phone and call. And they'll be there for me at any given time. You can't say that. I have siblings that'll stand behind me 150%, no matter what. No matter what. You do your channels, and your own brother goes on there and degrades you. And I liked your brother. He's not a bad guy, actually. But for your own brother to sit there and say certain shit about you like that, it's pretty sad. Pretty sad. But I guess it is what it is. But like I said, maybe one day you'll wake up and smell the coffee. Maybe you'll wake up and realize, hey, I got to stop doing this. This isn't getting me anywhere. But you'll never learn because you thrive off that drama. You're a very negative person. If people say something about your nails being painted or something like that, you get all offensive. Hey, rock out, buddy, with your nails painted. I know a lot of guys that get their nails painted. But I also know a lot of guys that get their nail painted because it's a hippie thing too. You know, they're hot and heavy into the hippie and the Grateful Dead and the 70s and shit like that. You weren't. I don't even think you were born in the 70s. You just. I don't know. It's just. It's a hard thing. You know, you could have. You know, you could have handled it a little bit different, but you chose not to. You know, it comes down to that saying: "You made your bed. Now you got to lie in it." You know, one thing I can sit here and say, Andrew, is I've never, ever had to walk down the street and look over my shoulder. Never, never. I'm sure you do, honestly, because I truly believe that you've pushed people to that point. And when I first met you, you were never like that. So what's changed you? What, because you think people are attacking your son? They're not attacking your son. They have questions. They want to try to get to the bottom of certain things. Wouldn't you want to get to the bottom of things if that was your child that was missing? I know I would. If my son came up missing at a young age like that, I would do everything in my power to find my son or to find out what happened. Regardless if that person's child, older child, had something to do with it or not, I would still want to find out the truth. So that's why I say, when I first started talking to Mama Berg, yeah, I gave her my opinion. Do I believe in my heart of hearts that you know more than what you're telling people? Absolutely do. Absolutely do. And it's all going to backfire in everybody's face. So are you willing to go to prison for hiding shit? You wouldn't last in prison. You'd be that bitch that's curled up in a 8x8 cell, tucked in a corner somewhere with a blanket over you because you're scared to come out of your cell. It's a damn shame, Andrew, because you know what? You two deserve each other, honestly. If you think she picked a better man, that's fine. Maybe she did. She had to choose somebody, but she sure the hell wasn't choosing me, and I wasn't choosing her. All over just because I stated my opinion. That's all. Just because of an opinion. Remember what I said, opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one. And you make sure that you put your opinion out there, and every time that you do a live, that's your opinion. Those are your trolls' opinions. Your trolls have a lot of opinions about everybody. They always have so much shit to talk about everybody else when they don't look into their own lives. Before they look into other people's lives or their background, they should check their own. Because I'm sure there's shit that's on them. But just like I said, if they really, really knew everything about you, you probably wouldn't have a YouTube channel. You probably wouldn't have the subscribers you have or the followers you have. But the followers you have and maybe the subscribers you have, maybe they're just into the bullshit like you are. Maybe they like that drama. My life's drama free. The only drama that gets brought into my life is whatever drama I bring into it or my girlfriend brings into it. And very seldomly, very seldomly, neither of us bring drama into our lives. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't think I was going to be on here for an hour. It's been a pleasure. I'm looking forward to doing it again, but just want to try to figure out some niches in here and figure out some things. But whoever watched tonight, I appreciate it. Like I said, I didn't threaten nobody. I didn't use the R word. I tried to be as calm as I could be. If I offended anybody by any means, I do apologize. But that I had enough. So, like I said, he poked the bear, and the bear came out. So, with that being said, I hope everybody has a good evening. Greatly appreciate you guys watching. And until next time, I'll be back. Love you all. Have a